Hello there, Sagittarius. Welcome to your September 2023 reading. Let's open up the month with fortune. Now this month it is Virgo season, and we have a very powerful Virgo season this year because Mercury, the ruler of Virgo, is in Virgo doing retrograde. So Mercury rules Virgo, but it's also an exaltation in Virgo, which makes this a really powerful position to have a Mercury retrograde in. I have done a separate video on the Mercury retrograde with an individual tarot card reading for each zodiac sign, so go and have a look at that. It will tell you how to work with the Mercury retrograde. It tells you what a Mercury retrograde is, why it's important, and what the potential is for everybody. How we can use that energy in our lives to improve, to expand our lives. So in the 10th house, we are looking at your fortune. You're looking at your blueprint of your life. You're looking at your life goals, your life aspirations, the things that the major big things you want for yourself. Most likely this will be to do with career and finances, but it can also have to do with relationships and big goals like housing and travel and families. And this Mercury retrograde is making really beautiful vibes to Taurus, to all the energy that's been in Taurus all year. And so this is a really great time to look at your work, look at your career, look at your daily work, look at your practices at work, to uplift it, to amplify it, in order to create more wealth, more resources, more abundance, more flow, more feelings of satisfaction and achievement and success in those areas of your life that you're really pushing for at this time. So I do think that September can be a really great month for you in terms of your prosperity, in terms of your wealth and your richness and enriching your life in whatever area you want to channel that energy into. There's this opportunity for expansion. So it can be financial, but it can be any area that you want. The other thing that's happening is that Venus is moving direct. That happens on September 4th. So Venus has been in retrograde in Leo since July the 23rd. Okay, activating your 9th house. Again, I've done another video on the Venus retrograde. Watch that video because it will tell you how to utilize this energy. And if you've already watched it, this is a great time to re-watch it, because now as she moves direct, see, through the retrograde period, we were getting all the lessons, we were learning all the information, things were coming up for us to put awareness around, to sort of observe and witness. And then when she moves direct, we have this opportunity to integrate those lessons, to act on them in real time, in real life, to put them into our daily practice and make really positive changes. So this opportunity to change in terms of expansion, to expand through the heart space, expand through a loving vibration, through love and relationships, throughout September as well, as she's moving forward, as she begins to move forward. Now you're coming into this reading as the King of Cups. Really great energy to come into this reading with. The King of Cups tells me that you are on top of your emotions. You're on top of your emotional guidance system and the emotions that are coming through. It means that you're in a really great space of self-regulation and self-generative self-partnerships, so that as the emotions arise for you, you're able to harness them and utilize them for their purpose, which is guidance, which is information. This could be a really great month for using your emotional guidance system to create this fortune or to move in the direction of this fortune. So if you have any big decisions that come up for you throughout September, remember to be heart open, heart led, and use those emotions, use your heart to make those decisions. Particularly around the 15th of September, we have a new moon in Virgo in your 10th house, so your house of fortune, and that's making really positive beams to Taurus, to the 6th house. So there's an opportunity to uplift your lifestyle, your daily habits, your daily routine, remembering to look at the emotional undertone of that. So you're following positive, constructive emotions. Now, the universe needs you to make a decision. I had a feeling there was a decision coming up for you, Sagittarius. I feel like there is a decision throughout September that you can make, like I said, using this emotional undertone, using your emotional guidance system. I think when Mercury is in retrograde, it may not be the best time to be making decisions. So for the first part of the month, that Mercury retrograde started on August the 24th and will go until September 16th. So the first half of the month, you're gathering information, gathering knowledge, gathering everything that you need, or talking to the people you need to talk to, seeing where they are, seeing what's possible, thinking about what's possible, and investigating, researching, learning. And then at the end of the month, when Mercury moves direct, starts to move forward, and particularly coming into October, you can become decisive, but you can make decisions. You can make informed decisions if you've had all the information, if you've done all the research, if you know what you know all the factors, all the pros, all the cons, that kind of stuff. Then you can make a decision. And the environment is offering you the chance to learn. So exactly, there's an opportunity this month, like I said, with that Mercury retrograde, to learn, to investigate, to find the information, with the Page of Wands on the bottom of the deck, to get curious, to explore, to discover. Both of these cards, Page of Wands, Page of Swords, are exploratory cards. You're exploring new ground, exploring new information. With the 9th house Venus retrograde moving direct, you're expanding your mindset, expanding your perspective through embracing new ideas, other people's ideas, maybe foreign concepts, maybe even traveling. The Page of Wands can be about traveling, so maybe you're traveling to somewhere new to gather information, to have these conversations. You may have to decide about a conversation you're having and how that conversation is going to unfold for you, how you want to present yourself, King of Cups, in this conversation. So like I said, this month, the first half of this month is about gathering all the information, gathering everything you need, learning, researching, so that you can move forward confident in your decisions later in the month. We have the Six of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Chariot. So moving forward, Six of Swords, you're moving forward. There's this decision. Now, the decision that you need to make may be quite painful, or it could be a difficult decision, because Five of Cups, it means leaving something behind. Most major decisions that we have to make in our lives are difficult because you're choosing between two options, and one option needs to be left behind if you choose the other. And that's why it's so difficult to make these kinds of choices. And that's why knowing all the information so that you can make a completely informed decision is so crucial this month. But it will not stop you from the feeling of sadness, of heaviness, of letting go of the other option. Now, what's important when you do come to this decision, when you do finally make the decision of which direction you're going to go, Six of Swords, which way forward you're going to go, it is important that you move through the process of letting go of the other decision, the other option, so that you completely invest yourself in the option that you've chosen, okay? Because if you keep one foot in each, and you don't fully commit to one direction, you will have split energy. And that is a really hard energy to manifest from, to co-create from. So once you've made that decision, you must move forward. Now, with the Six of Swords as well, it is an indicator that maybe you won't have all the information. We can gather as much as possible. You can learn as much as you can, but at the end of the day, there will be a risk that you need to take. There is going to be that risk. The Chariot, you're going to have to move forward into uncertainty, into the unfamiliar, and just trust yourself. Trust that you cannot get this decision wrong. Trust that whatever choice you make, it will be okay. It will all work out. Either way, it will all work out. And like I said, once you've made that decision, there's no looking back. You can spend some time grieving and releasing and surrendering and cutting cords to whatever the other option was. And then once you've moved through that process, allowing yourself to feel all the emotions, then you move forward courageously. You move forward, Chariot and Six of Swords, without looking back. We have the Emperor and Judgment. The Emperor is amazing at making decisions. That is his job. He must make decisions for his empire, for the people that he rules. All the time, he's constantly making hard choices. Now, he does this in a very disciplined way, in a very almost cold and calculated way, because he cannot afford to be too emotionally attached to his subjects, to the outcome. He has to choose the best outcome for all, right? He has to make sure that everybody is at least going to be okay with the decisions that he makes. Okay, so he has to make decisions that influence a lot of people. So he makes his decisions, like I told you before up here with the King of Cups, to use your emotional guidance system. Okay, using your emotional guidance system to make your decisions, but at the same time there needs to be this discernment. There needs to be the mental component. So we've got the Venus retrograde, which is the heart component. Your heart is expanding with that 9th house energy. But we also have the Mercury retrograde, which is the mental component. And the Mercury rules your mind, your thoughts, your thought habits. So you're having to blend those two together. With the Emperor, he is ruled by Aries. Now, Aries is renowned for moving forward it's for bravery. Aries is a sign of bravery and courage, but they kind of can often make decisions, very quick decisions based on what they want, and sort of run over the top of everybody else. They're ruled, by the symbol is the ram, and that's kind of this. They are like that. The Aries they are strong-minded, strong-headed. Once they get something in their head, they're going for it, and they don't really consider the effects it has on everybody else. So this is a time to make those decisions. They could be difficult decisions, and you may have to be making them for a lot of people. So there's this need for clarity in your mental focus. So you need to be able to detach from the emotions, using your emotion guidance system, but detach from the emotions of other people when you're making this decision. You need to use your judgment card. You need to use your best judgment, making the best decision you can make with the information that you have, and backing yourself 100%, Sagittarius. Backing yourself. And we have the High Priestess, and there we go. We have this energy of using your intuition as well. So all your faculties are required for whatever is coming up for you throughout September. This is a month of using your emotions, using your intuition, and using your mental capacity to make a decision for the future, which direction you're going in the future, using your judgment, reflecting. So you may make a decision like earlier in the month, and you may be very decisive and then act on that, and it may not work. And if you've got the opportunity to undo it and go back, that's brilliant. You can assess, reflect, and then change course. Otherwise, using your guidance system to pick the best solution for yourself moving forward, trusting in your intuition, trusting that you have your own back, that you can do this, and that whatever decision you make will be for the highest good of all. We have make a decision. I'm not even making this up, Sagittarius. Make a decision. So if you're really struggling with this, making a decision, if this is an issue for you and you're like laboring between two potential possibilities or two alternatives or more, and maybe even more alternatives, maybe there's a lot going on for you and you can't figure out what's the best way to go about this. It can be really mentally and emotionally strenuous when we don't know what to do. So this place of indecisiveness, this place of being uncertain, really comes down to not trusting in the universe, okay? When we think that we don't know what we want to do, most of the time it's because we actually do know what we want to do, that either we don't think it's possible, we don't think the universe will support us, or we're worried about what everybody else will think. So take some time, if you're really laboring over a decision, to see why, to look at the undertone of why you're struggling with this decision. Is it that you're worried about other people's responses, other people's actions? Like I said with the Emperor, he has to make decisions for a lot of people, and he does not allow other people's opinions to get under his skin. So he is never going to be able to please everybody in his empire. He never will. There will always be somebody who will be disappointed. There will always be somebody who's not going to like his decisions, who won't like him. He has to make them regardless. He has to make those decisions regardless of that. If you are following your intuition, if you are following your emotional guidance system, you will make the right decision for you. And some people may not like that, Sagittarius, and that's just unfortunate for them. You must make sure that you're making the right decision for yourself, because if you make decisions that will make everybody else happy, and you avoid and that means that you are not fully supporting yourself and the things that you want for yourself, then you are disempowering yourself and you are abandoning yourself. You are dishonoring yourself, okay? And that is a really slippery slope in life to take towards a mediocre and dissatisfying life. So this is what the cards are telling you. If you're struggling with a decision, it's not that you don't know what to do, it's that you are struggling with the consequences of that decision. And there is going to be a negative consequence no matter which choice you make. Five of Cups, there definitely will be. It's about picking the consequences you can live with the best. So what can you live with in terms of, in the long term, what will you be okay with? Maybe you will lose a few people in your life if you make that decision, but you'll back yourself and you will feel a strong sense of self moving forward, and you'll have all the things that you've always wanted. Your fortune will start to flow to you. That may be worth losing these people. Maybe it is about a lack of trust that the universe can provide. So there's an underlying belief there that you need to address. See, the thing with the Mercury retrograde is that it is bringing all of our unconscious programming to the surface for us to look at. So this stuff usually operates in the background, and we behave and act and think and feel from these belief systems in the background. They're unconscious and we don't even realize these programs are running. But when Mercury is retrograde, we have this opportunity to observe them. They become more clear so we can see them. So for you, this decision is bringing this to the surface. Whatever the decision is for you, it's bringing limiting programming, limiting beliefs to the surface for you to look at. So if there is beliefs around universal flow, if there is beliefs that you won't be supported if you make a decision towards something that you want, that your heart is calling you towards. Maybe this is a head and heart problem, right? We've got the Emperor with the King of Cups. Maybe your heart wants to go in one direction, but your head's telling you it's safer to go in this direction. So you're torn between safety and what your heart desires. Again, that's another scenario that may make it really tricky to make a decision. So if that's what you're doing, look at the undertone, look at the underlying belief. What's limiting you? What's obstructing you from making this decision? Because regardless of the decision, taking this decision aside, those limiting beliefs, that limiting programming that's operating in the background, it will continue to trip you up, to sabotage you throughout the rest of your life if you do not take a magnifying glass to it right now. This is an opportunity to change it, to uplift it, to remove it, and to replace it with a more supportive belief. That's what Mercury is doing for you. It's allowing you to do that. So go and watch my Mercury retrograde video as well. It will tell you how to do this work in more depth. But this making this decision that's come up for you is the indicator of limiting beliefs if you're really struggling with it. And so that's an opportunity for healing for you, Sagittarius. And we have open your heart. So like I said, this head and heart thing, so maybe there is like a situation where your heart is really calling you in one direction and your head is telling you that's not safe. What about the bills? What about my family? What about this? What about that? I should be doing this. I should be doing that. That word should is really detrimental. It's very limiting towards us being able to have a fulfilling life. When we are following our shoulds, I should be doing the right thing. I should be working to pay my rent. That kind of stuff blocks any sort of creativity. It blocks the heart space. We've just had that Venus retrograde, and that Venus retrograde has been all about opening our heart in life, opening our heart to people, following our heart's calling, following our heart's desires. Everybody has been encouraged to do that. If the people that have been resistant to doing that have really struggled at this time, so that could be what's coming up for you with this decision. Following your heart, my recommendation would be to follow your heart. Of course, it might not be the safe direction to go in. It may mean that you are taking a big risk. And like I said at the beginning, Six of Swords and the Chariot, you may have to take that risk anyway. Otherwise, you may end up really regretting it. But that's a decision that you must make on your own. The cards are just telling you to open your heart, allow your heart to speak, and allow your heart to guide you. But using your mental faculties, using your rationale, using your ability to learn, like gathering all the information and learning all the information, looking at the pros and the cons, the consequences, and weighing up the consequences and what consequence you can live with the best. That's using your mind, and that's a beautiful way of blending the mind and the heart, making the heart decision, but gathering all the information so you make it really well. And this month, we must surrender to what is. Flow with what is instead of fighting it. When you can't change a situation, compassionately accepting it exactly as it is will bring you peace. So maybe this decision is difficult because you want things to be different, but they're things that you cannot control. That can be another thing that affects our ability to make decisions, is when things aren't the way we want them to be. And so you may be choosing between two decisions that aren't really, neither of them are really what you want. So there's this need to surrender any resistance. You may be really resisting the position you're in. The only way to move forward is to accept the position you're in right now. If you continue to be in resistance to where you are, to the position you're in, to the decision you have to make, if you continue to hold resistance there, you'll keep yourself in this holding pattern that will keep you in that situation. It cannot evolve, it cannot grow while you're resisting it, because what we resist persists. There is a really amazing, like something really magical about accepting it. Accepting, okay, this is my reality. This is the decision I have to make. This is where I'm at. This acceptance feels really powerful. It feels really beautiful. And from that place, you are then in this optimal position to open your heart, open your mind, and make a decision to change. It's the only way, Sag. Okay. In the moment, if you can, remove your judgment and criticism and truly listen to someone. You will empower them. So maybe there is somebody's opinion that you do need to take into account. Like I said with the Emperor, he cannot please everybody, so he doesn't really take other people's opinions into account. He's very headstrong, and he has the ability to make decisions without considering or consulting others. He is, though, guided by other people. He has a council, right, who directs him, who gives him their opinion, but he ultimately makes the decision. Maybe there is somebody that you need to talk to without judgment. When the Judgment card comes out, it can mean that we are judging too harshly, and we need to look at our judgments around other people, around our life, around the decisions that we're making. So listening and opening yourself up to people. Remove judgment and criticism and truly listen to someone. You will empower them. It's a good opportunity this month to practice that with an open heart to somebody else, and to allow them. See, with the King of Cups can have a completely open heart and engage in uncomfortable situations. He can engage in uncomfortable conversations. He can hear people out when they are angry or they're sad without taking their emotions on, but still honoring them by listening to them, because he self-regulates. He's not codependent on anybody else. So when other people are having big emotions, they don't affect him because he's in charge of his emotions, that he's not dependent on external influences. Be aware that your thoughts and feelings are just as impactful as your actions. Again, like I said at the beginning of the month, it's not really a time to take action with those retrograde energies, and even wouldn't highly recommend it throughout the rest of the month. October is going to be much more beneficial to make decisions and take action. So maybe you make the decision in September and then you act on it in October would probably be the best. Use this month to gather the information and really make a solid, wholehearted decision, a whole state decision. So your whole body, your mind, your body, and your soul are all in alignment on the decision you've made. So as you move into October, when you start taking action on this decision, you're going with your full being. Your whole being is going with you, because your thoughts and your feelings are just as impactful. And this is what the Mercury retrograde is showing everybody, how important our thoughts are. Our thoughts create our reality. What we think literally creates the world we are seeing. And so when we have a Mercury retrograde, that we're literally creating our reality with the power of Mercury there. And so this is a really powerful month to be tending to those thoughts, looking at our thoughts, looking at what comes up, judging, reflecting, taking your awareness to what comes to the surface around these decisions. These decisions may be just the indicator that there is something to look at, something to investigate, blockages that are holding you back from life. And work daily towards improving your mental health. Yeah, so this card's coming out for a lot of signs. It's just that Mercury retrograde energy. Mercury, like I've said multiple times now, Mercury is the planet of the mind. It is helping you to improve your mental faculties, improve your thought habits. So the thoughts you think every single day, helping you to improve your unconscious programming. So these things are coming to the surface. Now, it can be very easy to go unconscious at this time and spiral into chaos, into confusion, to be like, this is too difficult, especially if you're faced with a hard decision that's got a lot of emotion behind it. It can be easy to avoid that, to just decide that you're not going to even look at it and avoid it and spiral into like avoidant behavior. So that's a possibility for you. That's an option for you. That's what the option that most people will choose. But if you want to be a deliberate co-creator, if you want to be somebody who is the best version of themselves, who is living their best life, living a life worth living, then we put the work in. We put that work in on a daily basis, deliberately choosing our thoughts, deliberately choosing our emotions, and deliberately choosing our actions every single day, particularly right now with the Mercury retrograde. It's a powerful time to do that. What the work you do now will benefit you for the rest of the year and beyond. It will benefit your fortune, where you're going in life. There's big things going on this month with the 10th house. In the 11th house at the end of the month, Libra season starts on the 23rd. So you start that 11th house, that's your fortune. This is the big life goals we're looking at. So attending to those thoughts will help for your whole life if you can do that now. Okay, so that is your reading for this month, Sagittarius. Thank you for being here with me. I appreciate you so much. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. That means a lot to me. And I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a really beautiful month.